Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we have ourselves a really old timer here. And this is actually my neighbor Kevin's out at my campsite. This is his knife, and I don't know how old this is, but it looks like it's quite old. It looks like it's probably got, I'm not sure, maybe 1095 steel in it, but it doesn't look like it's got any sort of, it's not stainless steel. It's got the kind of uneven bolsters. It looks like it's got kind of a bone pattern here on the side. It's actually one of the early liner locks, and it is stiff as hell, and it looks like it's been used for probably 30 years and never been cleaned. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to give this a little bit of a clean. We're going to sharpen this up. We're going to tidy it all completely up, lube it, and get it back to him. And this is just the beginning. So what I have here is I have just a mixture of what's called Eco Parts Wash. It's a company I used to work for, Worth Canada. We sold shop supplies, and one of the products is actually an Eco Car Wash. Now you can use, or Eco Car Wash, Eco Parts Wash, which is basically just a great, really good degreaser. It also has anti-rust inhibitors in it too as well. But you can use simply super hot water and some, dish soap mixture to soak it in, and that's what I'm going to do here. Normally, if this wasn't so super old, I might just look at doing some just regular scrubbing, but from the looks of it, you can't see here. Let's see if we can get a little more light in here. But it looks like the bolsters, inside the bolsters there, they're full of old lube. It's very stiff, hard to open, and just looks like it needs an overall damn good cleaning and reconditioning and sharpening. So into the mixture it goes. Now I probably won't be doing a crazy amount of, I'll be doing some cutting away, because this is going to soak here for a couple hours to really get at it. And then I'm going to take a brush to it, toothbrush, and then I'm going to probably, look at reconditioning the outside, taking this blade, paint off this blade, probably give it a little bit of a polish on this blade. Don't want to get rid of all the patina because that gives it a little bit of character, but I want to make this knife look as new as we possibly can. All right, so first thing she's doing is going into the parts wash. She's going to sit there and bubble away. So until next time, until the next part, we'll take it from there once she's all cleaned up. Okay, and we're back here. Now we have this been sitting here in this solution here for a little over an hour or so, and I mean, you can tell, I don't know if you can tell from here, but it seems to have kind of, I'm not sure if you can see, but inside the bottom there's a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of come off. There's a bunch of dirt and stuff at the bottom of this solution here, which is parts wash, and you can see that it seems to be, oh yeah, there we go, the paint's coming off. So that makes it a lot easier doing that rather than having to sand it off. And looks like we had some stuff here on the handle is starting to come off too as well. The old timer sign is kind of shined up a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this to some super hot water, and then we're going to just rinse it all off completely, dry it out, and then I might even use a little bit of a brush on the inside pivot here just to get rid of the last little bit. And then we will start the rest of the cleanup. So yeah, she's sat here for a bit, and this pivot here is, listen here, yeah, she's tight in there. So I imagine some new lube will work wonders for this. And oh, you can see all the dirt that's come off there in this solution here. And this is an eco-friendly parts wash. Still not great for your hands. So I'll go and rinse this all off and rinse this under some hot water. Okay, just been doing a little bit more cleaning here with my solution, which is it is just basically a little bit of Windex that was still left in the bottle, and the rest of it is a tiny bit of dish soap and some isopropyl alcohol, and it's just inside this little container here. So it does degrease, it does a lot of things, and it seems to be taking lots of this gunk off this knife here, these little cracks. Now unfortunately I can't get way down in there because, man, there's some stuff back in there. The old part washer got lots of it cleaned out, but there's still some gunk on the back spacer, as you can see here. Anytime I put just a straight stick down in there, it sure comes out black and dirty here. So there's probably 40 years of grit and grime inside there. And as you can see, she seems to be coming out. So the one thing that we're going to end up doing is we're going to probably do a little bit of sanding on this blade just to lighten the patina up a little bit. Smooth this out here a little bit. And then we're going to see if we can polish these bolsters. Perhaps polish the old timer. And then give her a darn good sharpen. And then finish it off with a darn good lube. I wonder about that. There. Because she's definitely going to need some lube. And then we'll continue on with that. Alright, we've got the flits back here. Now this flits metal polish is sure taking a beating here. My wife used it to do a whole bunch of her what do you call it, cutlery. Yeah, like, so we'll see if we can give her a little bit of a scrape here. A little bit of a polish. Ooh, and I shouldn't have done that. There we go. Because the area shines right up. So these cloths here are actually engine cloths that are for engine builders. They're supposed to be lint free, and they've just come in so handy. I'm just going to try this out here now. Let's try a little bit here of this flits on this bolster. You know, I know you can do this with a polisher, but I just don't feel like getting out a polisher. And sanding that down. Oh, she's actually coming pretty darn nice here. Here, let's put a little bit more flits on here. A little more on the actual bolster, and let's give it a wipe down. And the fact that these are disposable cloths just make it that much easier. Look at that. Just like new. I'm going to try to get something here to get this bone here a little bit looking newer. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the rest of these 4 bolsters. And she seems to be all piled up here, or polished up. And I mean, I could perhaps, you know, get some sandpaper out and try to sand away some of these fine little chips. But I mean, that's given it, I think, a little bit of character for sure. And I mean, we don't want to make this look brand spanking new because it is probably a 40-year-old pocket knife. And we just want to make it look quite a bit better. So... alright, here's a little bit more polishing I'm going to do here, just along this brass bolster here. Now, what do we want to do with this blade? Now, do we want to sand this blade, or do we want to leave it alone, or put some polish on it? I'm not sure. I might give her a little bit of just a really light sanding, just to take some of the stuff off, just to make it a little bit more uniform. We'll try that. I've got some really light sandpaper. Oh, I better start making my supper here pretty soon. Here we go. We've got some really light sandpaper. This is, I'm not sure if it's 1,000 grit or 2,500 grit. This is actually called Superflex sandpaper. Once again, from a company I used to sell shop supplies, where these were for body shop. This is basically body shop sandpaper with PSA backed, which I guess PSA backed means it is got some sticky on it. So let's just find out if this is 1000 grit or 2500 grit. 2500 grit, it says on the inside there. So we just need a little bit of water on here. And let's give it a little bit of a spray, a little bit of a wet sand. There we go. Of course, you got to be careful there. You don't want to be having your finger slip, and so that's why she's not really sharpened yet. And all the sand marks on here or grind lines are going this way, so, and we might want to try to do that a little bit too as well, just to get some of the sand marks even. And let's try the other side here just a little bit. So I might be doing a little more sanding on here, even at the 2500 grit, just to get it a little more uniform and just look a little nicer, right? Just want to kind of clean this up a little bit, because it is looking pretty awful. Even into the bolster here, or the ricasso. I keep on calling everything on this knife a bolster. So that does look better, but it's not, and it is quite a bit smoother. It's not perfect the way I want it to be, but I am going to keep on going at this a little bit. I just need to start making my supper. So we're going to put this away for a bit, and we will come back and we will finish off some more of this reconditioning this 40-year-old old-timer lock joint knife for my buddy. All right, hey, we're back here, and now we're just going to do a little bit of more sanding here with just a block and a piece of wood here, block of wood, and then just another piece of wood here. So we'll see what we can do as far as just getting some of this blade sharpened or sanded a little bit better. No, I did just get this out because I just don't want to cut myself. You know, me and cutting myself have got a little bit of a history here, and it's getting pretty close. I just want to get most of the blackness off this blade here. Like I said, I don't want to take all of the patina off, just some of it, because it was looking pretty awful here. So just if you've got yourself a block of wood here, what this does is it doesn't totally minimize that you won't get cut, because if you kind of lift it up you can get cut, but if you've got the edge facing down, there's a whole lot less chance that's going to reach out and bite you. So if you can go back and forth here, back and forth, as long as you've got this edge facing down into the block of wood, you're a whole lot safer. Ooh, you can see how there's a little bit of a bend in the tip of this knife. Do I want to do anything about that? Yeah. I might do something about that. I mean, I don't want to, certainly don't want to bust the tip here, but we might be able to straighten that out just a smidge. Yeah, that's definitely taking a lot of that out, and I probably will do a little bit of flits on there. Just a little bit of flits. Just at the very end, just to see what I can do as far as tightening, or get it just a little bit more clean. Nope, that's quite a bit better. Alright. Now let's just see if we can even this out a little bit. These yellow cloths here are actually from Costco, and they're a really great investment. I mean, they're really inexpensive. And I think for $20 I got 25 of these cloths, and I mean they're not indestructible, but goodness me, when they get dirty, they just basically go into the washer. If they get stained, oh well, there's more of them out there. Okay, so all right, now what do we want to do about that end? Okay, so this little piece of this here was two really pieces of, I think this is oak. It's kind of a hardwood. I had planned on knocking this apart and be able to make some old scales with this. Darn. Let's see what we can do as far as giving this a little bit of a bend. Oh, she's straightened out a lot. I just don't think I want to press this too much. There. She's almost straight. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to mess with this too much more. As far as trying to straighten that out. So now we're going to do a little bit of polish, and then we'll come right back at you. Got the lid on the flits. Gonna throw away these things here. Keep that piece of wood someplace where I can catch it if I need it. Same thing with my sandpaper. And so let's go with, what do we got here? KPL Ultra Light. We have got ourselves some KPV Normal, and then we have some KPV Heavy. What shall we put on there? Oh, and we've also got some Kershaw knife oil. I really like this Kershaw knife oil. I like this Kershaw knife oil because it's got a bit of PTFE in it, which if anybody knows what that is, that's actually Teflon, and it's very tiny microscopic pieces of Teflon in a solution, oil solution, and it can also impregnate into the steel and create a sliding surface even if the steel, the lube has been thrown or wiped off. So I probably think we're going to use some of that and some of the ultralight too as well to kind of help get in some of here, because it is really quite old and needs a little bit of lube. So we'll probably start with this. I'll add that in both of the pivots here, the pivot. Now we're hoping that this ultralight will carry some of that in there too as well. There we go. Now let's just work it here. Oh yeah, you can tell already it's, yeah, there was nothing in there before. Nothing at all. It is quite a bit quieter for sure. Now we just need to put a little bit of lube along this spine, because that is a working spot, or some friction in there too as well. Now the last thing we need to do on here is put a wicked ass edge in here. And for that, we will use magic. Okay, and we are back, and we are going to be using this Work Sharp precision adjust sharpening system to sharpen up this old timer. And just because I just didn't feel like putting on the KME, this is such a simple little system. And this knife here is going to a friend of mine. We don't need to have it so you know, hitting the 40 on the best machine, but we do want to have it put a really good edge on it. So yeah, so we're going to be cruising through this at high speed. So once we get this all sharpened up, I will get the strop and we will strop it up and finish this video. And just in case you guys are wondering, I ended up taking this and doing about a 20-degree edge on here. 20 degrees was about where it was originally sharpened, and I just kind of put a 25 on this machine, gave it a little bit of a sharpen, and it took a burr right away. And I kept on leading it back, leading it back, leading it back until I hit 20 degrees, and that seemed to be about the perfect edge for what was on this knife already. So all right, let's continue on now with the 600 grit, and we'll finish it off with the ceramic and a little bit of stropping. Okay, so now what I think we're going to probably end up doing on this, because the steel on it is not that fantastic. I don't even know if this is 1095. It's sure sharpened really, really fast. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this precision adjust, and I'm going to crank it up a couple of degrees from, let's just say it's at 20 degrees. That's what it's marked on here right now. I'm going to maybe put it to 22 degrees, and I'm going to give it a couple of fine strokes and just set a real small micro bevel on there. And a micro bevel just allows you to kind of put a little bit stronger just right in the very apex. Doesn't need to be strong, doesn't need to be in there really tough, or you don't need to put a lot of weight on it. If you're going to be doing a freehand, usually the weight of the knife is more than enough to set a micro bevel on your finest stone. And it just seems that it really increases the edge holding, and it also increases the toughness of the edge. That way you don't get rolling and chipping as much. All right, we're done that. Let's pop this out. Oh, she's sharp. All right, gotta grab myself a strop and do a little bit of stropping. Okay, we have our Stropman strop here. From now, I think, I'm not sure what it's called now. It used to be called Stropman Strops. Now I think it's called Strop Brothers, if I'm not mistaken. But Stropman Strop. So now what you want to do when you're stropping is you want to take find your bevel, and then just give it up just a little bit, because you want to strop on your micro bevel there, and then there you go. Turns the other way. There you go. So it's like finding your bevel and then lift it up just at 1 or 2 degrees to finish off the strop.
You can see the steel's coming out so fast. I'm going to run through this real quick.
And now when you want to set your micro bevel again, just basically the weight of the knife. You don't want to be pressing too hard into your leather, otherwise your leather curls around your edge and it just dulls it. So you just want to do that, and just the weight of your knife. Couple 3 good strops on there, and now 3 strops on the other side. There we go. And she is wickedly sharp. Wicked sharp. All right, so here is the finished product. I don't know what the original looked like off the top of my head, but that is the new version right here. Let's see if we can get that whole thing right in there. There. So I hope you had some fun here. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of a recondition of this old timer liner lock. Now please stay safe out there. If you like what you saw, don't forget to give me the thumbs up, subscribe, as well as share the video. Please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.